And I am live. Finally. Man, what was going on here? For those of you who've seen the schedule for later tonight, kind of got confused with the new changes with the YouTube app. Man, I tell you, that smartphone YouTube app is getting really good. So, live stream, folks, if you're watching on the replay, I'll add some time codes in the description so you can skip some sections. This is going to be a pretty big channel update. Got quite a few changes, announcements, a lot of inside stuff. For those of you who've been following me for a while and who run their own YouTube channels, I'm going to be telling you a lot of changes that I'm going to be doing or started to do last little while. So this would be pretty much interesting. So let's get going here in terms of there'll be 3 sections to this stream. We'll have some Q&As, what's been published, and the big changes that are happening here. So, and again, if you're watching on replay, there'll be some time codes at the bottom. So we'll start here. Make sure for those who are watching live, if you want to add a question, put them in the comments and we'll get going here. So for the Q&A, basically for the past month or so, have been some fairly good comments. A lot of them had to do, because we're in October, there's a couple things in October. A lot of half marathons and marathons, so there were a lot of questions on the reset, how to do a Garmin reset, or in that matter for the Fitbit. The thing with when you do a reset, you may not lose some or all your data. So it's very important when you're doing your training, especially when you don't see it a lot more now with the newer models, but there was a couple of years ago, there's a lot of the units when you're training for a marathon, right before you get ready for the race, it will give you this weird error like out of memory. You don't necessarily see that anymore, or you get some other issue that kind of locks it up. So you do want to upload or do a sync with your Garmin Connect at fairly weekly status so that you don't lose any of your workouts, any of that data. So that's one thing. The other question that we had regarding the inreach Explorer Plus, there was a couple of questions on the map sync. What type of maps you can download, the hunting area management maps, and the sending messages and share locations. Now, I'll mention a little bit later that I did do a live stream to address one of these things, but with the maps are on your inreach Explorer Plus. They are the Delorme maps that are preloaded. So you got your Delorme maps preloaded. You can sync via the portal some additional maps and the hunting management maps. You can't put Garmin maps right at the moment, or you can't really pick and choose. It's just you go to the portal and you just turn on what you need, and that's you're gonna have to deal with it. Now, if you're paired with the EarthMate app, you do have a few more extra layers that you can play around with: satellite, NOAA, charts, quad maps, that kind of stuff. So, give and take. I think after a while, you'll start to see the inclusion of some Garmin maps. And also there was a question on the messaging. So I did a live stream where I showed you where you can share your location from one inReach to another inReach. So I think that answers some of the questions. Basically, any message that you compose with an inReach will have your current location embedded in it, and whoever you're sending it to can either view it, or especially when you send it to another inReach, they can access that information and navigate to it. So it makes it kind of useful that way. So really, that's about it for the Q&A. The next section is the content that's been published on the various platforms on Avoiding Chores. Basically on YouTube, kind of light. I've been kind of, well, I'll let you know in the changes why. But on YouTube, we focused on some of the changes on Garmin Connect, how to create custom workouts and courses. Really good if you're on the road. You want to have a walking or running route in a new city that you don't quite know what's going on. It kind of crowdsources from the other public activities on the Garmin Connect platform and gives you a route. And I think that's a feature that it's been a while coming, so I'm glad to see it there. And also there's, I believe it was courses, which not quite as important, but still very useful to have. Podcasts. We've published a number of podcast episodes. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do. That is the fun podcast. It's very short, 7 to 10 minutes. Me, Keith, and Jocelyn, we just shoot the breeze. We're all in different cities. So scheduling a good quality audio podcast is fairly difficult, but I think once the snow starts to fly, we'll be able to have something very on a regular basis. We're still playing with the scheduling, so it's either we would like to be twice a week, but right now we're once a week, if not, once every 2 weeks. I think that's going to have to be it until winter. But definitely subscribe, listen to the past episodes. Numbers have been actually pretty good, so way better than what the Friday Night Hangout was. So on the website, I had a sponsored post by Fall Raven, or Fjall Raven, or whatever you want to pronounce it. So I did the emergency family evacuation go bag or kit with all the hurricanes and stuff that's been going on this fall. Mrs. looked at me one night and it's like, what's our plan? What are we doing if something were to happen? So good timing, Fall Raven contacted me, so it kind of did a post on that, used one of their products, one of their packs, and there will be a video based on it, but you can go to the website at avoidingchores.com to check that out. And then you should see some trail reports also on the website. Did do a little trip with the boys in New Hampshire, New England, and did just a couple trail reports on some trails. I brought all my video gear, but wasn't feeling it. Wasn't feeling it for the videos. But you can definitely check my impressions on that. Comment from Smokin' Ape. Yes, I would like to do that video pretty soon. It just didn't work out with the timing this month, so hopefully we can get that going. And you should see in your feed, if you haven't already, the Garmin Forerunner 35 GPS. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. The 35. Started doing some videos on that. So that has been one of the more requested devices to do videos on for the last few months. I've been going to a local running club to do some talks on heart rate training and stuff, and that is the one that people are talking about. And a little bit of research, that is definitely the one to look at. So if you're looking for a running watch, so far, the Forerunner 35, not bad, not bad. Very basic though, but not bad. I do have here on the wall a few other units to take a look at. So I'll announce that a little bit later. So that's about it for the content. I don't have a lot planned. October is one of those months where I didn't have a lot of stuff, a lot of time to myself to plan, but basically all has to do with the big changes that are happening here on the channel. First thing, you've probably seen it if you're signed up to the Facebook page, is that the longtime partner that I had, the inreach, Ropost Canada, they were the Canadian master seller for Delorme. Now that Garmin kind of redid all their deals with the acquisition, they've kind of brought everything in-house. So those contracts with those master sellers in different countries, that's done. Therefore, my work with them is done. So there will be no more new inreaches coming for sure. However, I do have what I have at the moment, and I'll still trickle out some videos. But I think as we go, those content, the topics will be a little bit more advanced now that we're getting past that thing. So it is a shame. It was coming up on 5 years working with Ropost. A great group of people to work with out of Toronto, and hopefully I think we'll be able to do some stuff in the future, but it won't be as often as you see right here. So, which is good because they allowed me to do some stuff outside the YouTube thing, which was very appreciative. So I really enjoyed that. So we got that. Let's see. 2017, year of change. So with that kind of like ending of a partnership, I asked my business manager, the missus, I said, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity to take a look at things and just give an honest evaluation of where things are at with the avoiding chores thing. I haven't really changed anything for about 5 years. Right, I've been starting projects and maintaining projects for a number of years, and is it a great use of my time? You've seen it in previous channel updates. I'm working on all sorts of different things. I'm not keeping track of the projects I do announce or trying to get them delivered. So we're like, okay, let's take a look at stuff and hack and slash, break free, pivot, whatever you want to call it. because you got to remember, avoiding chores back in the day, that was kind of like the catch-all of all the stuff I was doing, right? So it kind of makes sense that it was a hodgepodge of stuff. But really, when it comes down to it, the GPS tutorials have always been the niche content that did very well on the site. So probably doing something that I should have done a couple years ago, and probably some stuff that will, for those of you who've been listening for a few years, like, man, this is not the first time he's mentioning this. So, all right, so first thing, the iPhone app. So I mentioned about the ANNOUCE app that is now shut down last month. Basic is one of these things where I really needed some extra help on it. Was very close to getting to that next level with some, like a deal with local establishments and stuff like that. Didn't quite work out, and I just can't maintain it. So that is offline, off the store. I'll still keep the ebooks going. It'll be free. It's one of these things where people didn't want to pay for the app. I can't believe during the years I've had the app, there were a number of people, 3, asked for actual refunds on a 99-cent app. And I thought it was fairly clear as to what the app did, what it would deliver, and they still wanted to. And I went as so far for one guy to actually send him a PayPal refund, sent him more money so that he wouldn't get the fees. He never accepted it, but it's just the ridiculousness of it. So if the app was free, I'd be getting all these downloads. If not, nobody would download it. So it's kind of like, well, I can't invest time on an app, promote, advertise, and all that stuff. Get on the road if nobody really wants to support me that way. So that's offline. Ebook, the same thing. Ebook is great when it's free, but as soon as I put a little bit of a price tag on it to compensate my time or all that stuff, it doesn't quite work. So it's still online. The Kindle version is offline, but we'll see at the next update. We'll keep it free. I still want to keep the ebooks option open because of the next thing that's happening. The podcast, we're going to keep doing that. Like I mentioned before, try to keep the schedule, try to find a good schedule. So if you haven't subscribed, listen to it, give me a review, honest review, and we'll adjust. And the website, look through the analytics, and especially with the hiking trails. When I do trail reviews or some other kind of trail topics, they do a little bit better than the videos. So it's easier for me to pump out traditional web posts on the trails, photos, and GPS data than just to do the video. And that means I can actually get out and do the trails when it's inclement weather. Because I don't know if you noticed, you never see a hiking video in bad weather. It's always in beautiful weather, right? So, anyway. So that's kind of the changes that are going on right now. And then I took a look at the YouTube side of things, and I saw this trend a couple of years ago, and I may have mentioned it before, but this is the big shock for a couple of you that are watching live or watch on the replay. 99% of my views, monthly views, are from unsubscribed viewers and predominantly search. So I do about 135,000 views per month. 99% of that is unsubs. So that means there's 1% of you that are regular subscribers. And when I start to dig deeper into the subscribers, guys don't watch the latest thing. You kind of like do like me, which I think is the change in the YouTube where you just probably like me, I add stuff to my watch later queue, and when I have a moment, I binge for an hour or two, and I watch the videos, comment, and that kind of stuff. So when I look at weekly slices of the subscribed viewers, they're watching a month, 2-month-old videos, or rewatching older videos. So it's pretty interesting. So anyway, for those of you who are still subscribed, that still watching this now, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. But because of that, I'm not going to do any more Sunday uploads, right? Since everything is kind of, it really is not time-based. So I'm going to stop to do Sunday uploads, and I'm just going to upload as I got the video ready. So I started doing that today with the Forerunner 35. There'll be 3 videos today coming out, and then there's one on Monday and Wednesday. So I'll have some videos coming out there. We'll be focusing more on the GPS tutorials because that is really the ones that are doing well. There are some outdoor topics that are doing well, so I will try to do some content there. You won't see as much hiking. I do want to do more paddling, so probably the amount you saw today, which was 2, 3 videos, 4 videos, that was pretty much the extent you're going to see it. So try to keep it into that. So I'm not going to, you know, if there happens to be a review that's been in the queue that I'm going to get to it, I'll probably do it. I still want to do a little bit of the cast iron, but that could be a web post instead of that. So if you're following me on social media, you know, maybe that's what you're going to see. If you prefer seeing my Dutch oven content on Instagram, then we'll do that on Instagram. But you know, right now it's not doing very good on the YouTube. Again, it does better on other platforms, so that's kind of interesting. So with that, I've created a new subsite, so you can go and check it out. It's called gps.training, so that's the URL that you put in, and that's where I'm going to focus all the GPS how-to wearable content, even the map and compass stuff. So open up your browser, gps.training, and then I kind of made simple structure for URLs so that as we're adding content to it, that is a simple place that you can find it. And I'm going to put in a couple $100 to do a grassroots marketing campaign, old school level. I have a whole bunch of envelopes here, and I got all these 10 cards kind of printed up here. And this is meant for people back at the cache. So when you go to a store and say, hey man, how do you use this Phoenix or inreach or whatever, and they don't know. They don't know. So, but hopefully they'll have a card here and say, well, actually, go home and go to this website address and look, they have an inreach section, so you can look at the how-to tutorials and all that stuff. So that's kind of the deal that I'm going to do it. The last big bit of news is I'm in the process of signing up to the Amazon short video programs. So if you are part of that influencer program, they have a whole bunch of different programs out. Threw my hat in the ring and talked to Amazon, and looks like I'll be being added to that. So hopefully in a couple weeks, whenever you'll be searching on some Garmin or some Fitbit product pages, scroll down to the bottom, and hopefully in that video band there, you'll see some of my stuff. So that would be cool. Also cool to see how that works out. So again, like I said a few minutes before, over the years, the YouTube trend is that people are finding me via search, and this would be a good idea to do that. So I got a YouTube search on one end, I got the website search for the other end, and hopefully now I got some Amazon the other end. So that's, you can see that's kind of where the focus is going to be for the next little while, and we'll see how that works out. Like I said before, when I started doing this avoiding chores stuff, I said I'm just going to just throw some stuff out, see what works, and just pursue it and see where it goes. I'll still do some of the other content. I'll still do these live streams. I love doing these live streams. I love doing the podcasts. I love doing some of the other outdoor stuff. Maybe not as much of the schedule, but I still love doing some of the stuff. So thank you for those who are watching. I don't know if you have any questions or comments. Put them in right now in the next 10 seconds because I'm going to close it off. Check out the replay. I'll put some time codes so you can skip through the version. So I really appreciate it. If anybody doing this, I am, if you know, this was powered by Garrison Imperial IPA. Just got a small bottle for today, so do this before my run tomorrow. All right, folks, have a good weekend, rest of the weekend, and we'll see you in the next update.